Welcome to Anarchy Baking Radio. I'm your host, John Zerzan. Today's guests are Urban Scout and Kevin Tucker. Welcome.
Hey, John. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, John, thanks.
So, as I understand it, there's been some controversy between the two of you for some time now.
Yeah, about that. I don't really know what the controversy is. It doesn't really have anything to do
Whatever,
with me.
dude.
I don't care what he does with himself, with his life, or politics, or whatever. I don't. It's not like I care how he bakes his brownies or something stupid like that.
Damn right it's got to do with me. You're co-opting valid shit, and I'm
That's
not gonna
not
stand
true.
for it.
That's not true.
Yeah, gentlemen, let's not interrupt each other here. So, Kevin, what is your main issue with Urban Scout?
Well, John, it's clear that Urban Scout has been promoting my ideas in a bad light. I mean, he's mixing his personal life with valid shit by blogging about my ideas.
So, your main issue then is his blog.
That's part of it, but also because he's doing it wrong.
Yes, well, can you give us an example of that?
Well, one example is that he bakes his brownies with duck eggs and not chicken eggs, and we all know that flavor changes dramatically if we alter from the specific recipe.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here and say something. First of all, it's no one's recipe. Okay, I didn't steal any recipe. It wasn't his to steal in the first place. I create my own recipes. That's why I use different ingredients. There was definitely some influence by anarchist bakers like you, John, and Kevin. But I was also very influenced by Derek Jensen's amazing chocolate chip cookies and Daniel Quinn's pound cake. But a lot more has come from non-anarchist bakers, such as Joseph Campbell's delectable Christmas fudge. It's not like I mean, I've been reading for years about alternative baking now, so
So Scout, I heard you recently received a pie pan in the mail from an anonymous baker. Is this true?
yeah, that's true.
And now I heard that you believed it was from that it was meant to be a threat. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me. People throw pies at their enemies' faces as a form of, assault and insult and humiliation. To me, it's obviously a metaphor, probably sent by vegans because I use animal products, in my baking. But definitely sent by an anarchist hater because of the message that was scrawled on the pie pan, which said, Urban Stewart. Obviously, they were saying I was like Martha Stewart or something, not alternative enough in my baking.
You're so full of shit, Scout. It was probably just a joke or a gift. And John, do you know that Scout called the Betty Crocker hotline for emotional support because of the stupid pie pan he got in the mail? He probably sent it to himself anyway.
Look, when I called the Betty Crocker hotline, I was just scared. I've spent so much time writing good recipes and posting them on my blog, and I basically devoted my life to it. And it's really frustrating when obnoxious people send you bullshit like this in the mail, trying to intimidate you. And I just didn't, I didn't feel like I was being supported by the baking community around me, and I resorted to calling the Betty Crocker hotline. It's not. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. It was sort of, it was definitely reactionary, and I feel stupid for doing it. But I didn't feel like I had any other choice, and I don't think that it was wrong. Even now, I still don't think I made a wrong choice by doing it. I wouldn't. I don't think I would do it again. But I would like to see you in my position and see how what decisions you would make. And really, they didn't help. In the end, it didn't really make me feel any better at all. They didn't help me at all. So
Yes, well, I can't condone calling an institution that promotes the modernization and homogenization of baking in such a way. It's a big disappointment to hear that, Scout, that you did that. I mean, as an anarchist baker, I can't believe that you would do that.
Well, I don't know, I don't consider myself an anarchist baker. I don't even think of myself as a baker, really. I'm just a guy who likes to bake, and I don't follow any particular institution for it. Ironically, you would think that most anarchists would not identify as such for, exactly the same reason. If you're so anti-institutional, why are you labeling yourself, in this way? It's never really made any sense.
That's a bunch of bullshit, Scout, and you know it. You're too busy making up your own institution. You just want to be the major authority of anarchist bakers. I mean, that's how you act on your blog, at least.
Yeah, right. And who's the one telling me I'm doing it wrong? You're the one attacking me. You're the one telling me that, I'm not doing it in the correct way or your way. I mean, who the fuck are you to tell me how it is or how it should be? You're acting like an authority by doing that.
Sorry to interrupt, Scout, but looks like we've got a caller on the line. Hello?
Hi, John. John, is that you?
Yes, this is Anarchy Radio. You're on the air.
Oh, okay, well, I'm just curious, what the fuck are you all talking about?
I don't understand the question. What do you mean?
I mean, why are you talking about baking?
I don't follow you. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it seems like with a radio show like this, you could just be talking about some more important issues than, how many spoonfuls of sugar to put in a batch of brownies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I actually recommend putting in honey and not processed sugar because...
Stop it, Scout. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is just a ridiculous conversation. It makes absolutely no sense.
Okay.
Right now, while you're having this conversation, there are people out there who are starving, who've never even eaten brownies, and yet here you are busy discussing how to properly make brownies, whatever the fuck that even means. I mean, are you listening to yourselves?
Excuse me, can I ask you, about your brownies?
Well, I don't think that has any relevance to the conversation here.
I think it has total relevance. I mean, you probably use wheat in your brownies, don't you?
Well, yes.
Oh, see,
That's
exactly.
bad. Yeah, that's real bad. Yeah, sorry, gonna have to hang up on that guy. Sorry about that, you guys. Guess they're still not very good at, filtering our callers.
What the fuck is going on?
Don't laugh, Scout. See, John, this is the person who Urban Scout is. He's the kind of person who uses wheat in his brownies.
I don't use wheat. I don't care though. I mean, I'm allergic, but I don't care what people put in their brownies.
Let's get back on track here. Where were we? Kevin, you don't like Urban Scout's baking blog. Let's talk about that.
Well, John, when you blog about baking, it should be a serious thing. Not, mixing in your stupid bullshit about your girlfriend or something like that. You shouldn't mix inconsequential bullshit with an anarchist baking site.
What blows my mind is I don't know, do you get the purpose of baking? I mean, why do you bake? I know why I bake. I bake because it makes me enjoy my life that much more. And people like to see how I blend my baking with my everyday life. I can't help it. Honestly, more people read the blogs about the hard times I'm having finding, or the hard times I'm having finding time to bake between schedules and things because they can relate to it. It helps people talk about this kind of stuff. And in that sense, yes, there are some people who come to my site just for the recipes. And for them, it's inconsequential bullshit. But many more people come because they're interested in how baking blends into everyday life and the struggle of making that balance. It's not inconsequential bullshit at all. But in fact, I believe that it's the hummus from which all great baked goods emerge.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
That is so fucking cheesy, dude. John, I can't believe you were gonna fall for that. You can't fall for that, John.
Well, Kevin, do you have a response to Urban Scout's statement?
Yeah, my response is that it's bullshit. Can't you see that it's just bullshit? That's my response.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, I guess.
I would just like to point out that actually is not a response to anything that I just said. That's not really a response you get when you're debating somebody. You can't just say that it's bullshit. You have to explain why.
Well, John, he already said he wasn't an anarchist, so...
That is true, Scout. You did say that.
Yeah, I did, and I don't understand why a label, whether or not I label myself in that way, has anything to do with this conversation at all.
It means you just don't get it, dude.
Right, exactly.
What? That's just insane. I'm sorry.
I told you, John, he just can't be trusted for his recipes.
I think you're right about that, Kevin. Well, that's all the time that we have tonight for Anarchy Baking. Please listen in next week as we talk with Lierre Keith's assailants about the proper proportions of cayenne pepper to add to your pie before smashing it into the face of a defenseless fellow activist.